Guys, if you know my story, you're gonna love me. I'm working so hard for that. My wife, my kids, I worked so hard for that. You can imagine that. I can touch now. I can touch now. I can feel.
On December 8, 2024, the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas will host UFC 310, a card headlined by a flyweight title fee with the potential to redefine the division future. Alexandre Pantoja, the reigning champion, is set to defend his belt against Kai Asakura, a fast-rising challenger whose unorthodox style and striking power have captivated fans. This fight is about more than just a belt. It's a battle of contrasting careers, ambitions, and fighting styles, with implications that could resonate far beyond this single night. Alexandre Pantoja's journey to the top of the UFC flyweight division is a story of perseverance and grit. Hailing from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Pantoja began his career with modest means, relying on his raw talent and relentless work ethic to make his mark in the MMA world. Since his UFC debut in 2017, he has faced some of the best fighters in the division, earning victories in high-profile bout against Brandon Moreno and Davison Figueiredo. These were not just wins. They were wars that showcased Pantoja's ability to adapt, endure, and dominate in the face of adversity. With a professional record of 26-5, Pantoja's skill set is well-rounded, but it's his grappling that sets him apart. A black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Pantoja is lethal on the ground, with 10 submission victories to his name. His ability to fin openings in scrambles and transitions is unparalleled, and his cardio allows him to maintain a relentless pace throughout a fight. Yet, Pantoja is not just a grappler. Over the years, he has developed a striking game that complements his ground skills, making him a complete fighter. As champion, Pantoja has carried the weight of the division with grace, though some argue he hasn't received the promotional push that his accomplishments deserve. Across the cage from Pantoja will be Kai Asakura. Kai Asakura is stepping into the octagon for the first time at UFC 310. However, his lack of UFC experience does not make him an underdog in the traditional sense. With a professional record of 21-4, Asakura has carved out a stellar career in Japan's Risen Fighting Federation, where he was a bantamweight champion. Known for his explosive striking and unorthodox style, Asakura is a fighter who thrives in chaos. Asakura's ability to deliver highlight reel knockouts has made him a fan favorite in Japan. His most notable victory came against former Bellator champion Juan Archuleta, a win that catapulted him into the global MMA spotlight. His striking is his greatest strength, featuring a mix of speed, precision, and knockout power rarely seen in the flyweight division. However, high unpredictability is what makes him truly dangerous. Asakura is a master of creating opportunities in chaotic exchanges, making him a challenging opponent to prepare for. What makes this matchup even more intriguing is the fact that Asakura is challenging for a UFC title in his promotional debut, a rarity in modern MMA. This has sparked debates within the MMA community about whether his opportunity is based on merit or marketability. While critics argue that his rapid ascent undermines the UFC's meritocratic structure, supporters see him as a deserving contender who has proven his worth in another major promotion. This fight is a classic matchup of grappler versus striker. Pantoja's path to victory lies in high ability to close the distance and take Asakura to the ground, where he can employ his superior grappling skills. Asakura, on the other hand, will aim to keep the fight standing, using the striking to dictate the pace and create openings, to adapt under pressure. However, Asakura's unpredictability and knockout power make him a unique challenge. If Pantoja can neutralize Asakura's striking and bring the fight into his realm, he has a clear path to victory. Conversely, Asakura can land a clean shot early. He could shock the world and leave Las Vegas as the new flyweight champion. Broader implications for the flyweight division. Beyond the individual stakes, this fight has broader implications for the flyweight division. Pantoja, a successful title defense would solidify his position as one of the all-time greats in the division. It would also quiet critics who argue that he hasn't faced enough high-profile challengers during his reign. For Asakura, a victory would be nothing short of historic. It would not only validate his transition from Risen to the UFC, but also position him as a global superstar capable of elevating Japanese MMA on the world stage. A win in his UFC debut would also open the door to exciting new matchups, potentially reshaping the hierarchy of the division. This fight has also sparked controversy within the MMA community. Some fans and analysts question whether Asakura's immediate title shot is justified, given his lack of UFC experience. They argue that other contenders with established UFC records deserve the opportunity more. Others, however, see this as a smart business move by the UFC to capitalize on Asakura's international appeal and expand its presence in the Asian market. On the other hand, Pantoja's supporters feel that the UFC has not done enough to promote him as a champion. Despite his exciting fighting style and impressive resume, Pantoja often finds himself overshadowed by flashier fighters in more prominent divisions. This opportunity for him to prove his critics wrong and command the respect he deserves. As December 7th approaches, anticipation for UFC 310 continues to build. The clash between Alexandre Pantoja and Kai Asakura represents everything fans love about MMA. High stakes, contrasting styles, and the unpredictability of combat sports. For Pantoja, this fight is about legacy. For Asakura, it's about validation and making history. When the cage door closes, only one will emerge victorious, but both fighters will have a chance to leave a lasting impact on the sport. Whether you're rooting for the established champion or the bold newcomer, one thing is certain: UFC 310 promises to be a night to remember, with implications that will ripple throughout the flyweight division for years to come.